Hey, what's up, everyone? How you doing? I'm just gonna wait for Paloma to get into the chat. I think she has to request, so yeah, I'm just waiting for Paloma. As you know, we're all doing myself and Paloma doing the live stream right now. So yeah, I hope you're all good. I hope you're staying safe and well at home. Just gonna wait for Paloma to request. Let's have a look. What's up, everyone? What's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, I'm just gonna wait for a few more of you to log on. But yeah, like I said, I hope you're all keeping well, keeping safe at home. Right, how do I get Paloma to go live with Paloma? There we go. What's
Hello!
happening?
I need to put a nice filter on because I've been in this in 12 years in music, I have never built a studio. Look, that's quite cool, old fashioned
Oh,
stuff.
hold on. I need to. I think because I've got something. I've got like a. Ah, that's better. Yeah, I can hear you now.
In 12 years in music, I've never built a studio in my house. And
Why?
I don't know, it's stupid. I've basically just done it. So, I look terrible because I've just spent I'm obsessed. I'm down here writing songs all day. It's quite good. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, we're live. We're live. How are you? You alright?
Yeah, I'm really good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm just in the studio every day, just working on music.
Is that in your house?
Yeah, this is in my house here, so
So nice. Me
yeah,
too. I'm doing some music too. So send me some tracks.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, you only need your laptop and headphones and a microphone these days. That's it, really.
I know, and I've got a really nice one. Look,
What have you got? Oh, very nice.
a nice U47.
Look at you.
Yeah,
No,
talk.
no one's gonna have a clue what that means, but it's a very good microphone, everyone.
So how? What? I don't. I'm going to let you lead this because I was sent what's going to happen, but I'm sort of winging it because I haven't been looking at it.
Yeah, we're just like, I think obviously we're both been so busy. Usually we'd be out on the road promoting the record, but we're at home and doing it from the luxury. This is actually what I've always wanted to do, just actually never have to go
Leave.
out. So I'm actually
Are
just
you
home.
actually enjoying quarantine then? Are you like,
I'm
okay, I'm
loving
in
it.
my element?
I'm loving it. So yeah, it's because I've been like on the road solid for I think about 4 years, over 4 years now. So yeah, this is proper time off. Well, time in the studio.
But time to just do what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. But I love touring as well. It's like I think when you tour, as you know, when you tour so much, it just becomes part of your life. And when you're not doing it, you kind of miss it. I miss not DJing on the weekends and during the week and seeing loads of people and singing all the songs. I do kind of miss it.
I always sleep on a bus because I tour with the band, so we go on a bus.
Yeah.
And when I get back from tour for like a month, usually I can't sleep because my bed's not moving.
You should get a waterbed.
It's just like, what? That makes me feel sick.
Yeah, no, I sleep literally I sleep anywhere on the road, like just yeah, in the cars, in chairs, like just anywhere. I'll sleep like backstage before the show even starts, like just on a grotty sofa backstage.
Good. Prepares you for this.
Exactly. But other than that, everything else all good.
Yeah, really good. I'm just happy to be able to record and actually nothing's really stopped except the stuff that I found creatively distracting.
Yeah.
So
What are you finding distracting?
no, I feel like that's all stopped. All the distracting stuff
Oh
stopped.
right,
So
okay, so you can focus.
doing interviews and going to do photo shoots and stuff is like great, but it's not very creative. So I feel like sort of being reflective and thinking about the world in this situation, watching the news and like talking to friends who've been ill, and people have lost a lot of people, and it's quite a sad time, but I feel like it's really made me get into that melancholic frame of mind that I need to do to write my music. Mine's not as uplifting as yours, it's all miserable.
Oh no, I think obviously it just gives you time to focus, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it feels good.
Yeah,
But so we're here to talk about mistakes we've made.
we are. So we kind of put the challenge out there, and just to kind of find out from fans and both of us really, mistakes that we've made, funny mistakes and maybe some bad ones at the same time. And yeah, just kind of go over them. So I've got some here. So I think,
Are you going to start with your mistakes or somebody else's?
let's do a few of ours first.
Okay.
And then it doesn't look so bad when we follow up with everyone else's after. So yeah, I'm trying to think. So 3 of my personal funny mistakes. I always go back to this one in I was DJing at this club in Paris, and it was quite a small club actually, and I think to go, you know, like when you need to kind of do like your pre-wee like before you go on stage. It's like your pre-nervous wee. Sorry if that sounds really disgusting, but always have it. And I needed to go literally probably about 15 minutes before my set, but there was no toilet backstage. So to get to the toilet, you have to jump off the front of the stage and go through the crowd to use the toilet at the back of the club.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, everyone's looking at you while, you know, you're on stage and everything. And I thought, right, let me kind of do, you know, there was like barriers and everything. I thought, let me just kind of jump onto the barriers to get down and style it out pretty well. And as I jumped, I landed on my foot the wrong way, and it kind of went sideways. And that was really, really
And then
bad.
did you carry on doing the gig like with a bad
I hadn't
foot?
started the gig.
Did you go on?
Yeah, I had to. Otherwise, there's going to be no DJ to follow. So yeah, that was one of the worst, because my foot blew up like twice the size within probably about 15 minutes. I remember I was there like with my tour manager and everyone else, and I was like, I'm sure it's all right. And literally, I took my sock off, and I couldn't even put it back into my shoe. It was so big. So yeah, that was probably one of my first funny mistakes at a gig.
Did you actually get to do your wee?
No.
So you were busting for wee and a swollen foot, and you did a whole DJ set.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, like by then I'd forgotten about the wee because my foot was in so much pain. So yeah, there was definitely no jumping around on that show. That was for sure. So yeah, that was probably the first one. The second one is probably a few years back. I was doing, it was either like the Summertime or Jingle Bell Ball, you know, for Capital. For anyone that doesn't know, it's like massive radio event that's either at the O2 or Wembley. Pretty big deal to be doing that show. And we had the idea that I would get these massive inflated Jonas blue balls. And they were blue balls, and they were massive balls, right? To kick out into the crowds, because I thought, oh, it'd be such a laugh. Like literally, while you're DJing, just to have these massive inflatable balls that you just push out into the crowd, and like everyone's just like pushing it all around. I can't remember if it was at Wembley or the O2, but it looked amazing. But basically, what I had to do is I actually had to kick them off the stage. So literally, I had this ball, this massive, it was bigger than me, this ball, and I've gone to kick it, and it clearly wasn't pumped up enough. So as I've kicked it, it's just not gone anywhere. And it's like just landed, like everyone's waiting
in front of you.
Yeah, everyone's waiting to like 20,000 people like waiting to get this blue ball that I've like just come out on stage ready to boot out into the crowd, and it's just gone absolutely nowhere. I've like done like the biggest kick, and like I remember like all my team sent me like this funny meme that was going around at the time, like this baby trying to kick a ball, and it just goes nowhere, and that's literally what it was like.
Did people run on and try and get it?
No, it was still at the stage because I kept hitting it. I'm clearly not a very good footballer either, hence why I do music. But I was like booting this ball, and it just went absolutely nowhere. So by then, I think the security just had to like push it out. It was one of those. So yeah, that was probably the second mistake that I've ever made.
What was your third one?
Third one would be oh god, it's really difficult. Third one would be, oh yeah, I was supporting the Chainsmokers at a show, and I was flying from somewhere else, and I think because of the flight, it made us 5 minutes late for the show or something like that. So literally, as soon as we got there, I had to go straight on, and I forgot my pass because I'd done the previous night or something like that at the same show. So you're supposed to hold on to your laminated pass.
Yeah.
And I forgot the pass, so when I got there, they wouldn't let me in.
So you weren't allowed on stage?
So I weren't allowed on stage until it was all sorted out. So that was probably my third one that I can remember.
That's happened to me at the Sydney Opera House.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
2 nights. It was the second night he was like that.
Yeah, it's just like, who's like, if you're not going to let me in, who's... It's fair dues though. If you forget your pass, you forget your pass. It's like fair dues.
Shall I tell you some of my mistakes?
I want to hear some of yours. Tell me.
So I wrote them down because I need to remind myself. Okay, so I'm going to start off kind of relatively low key.
Okay.
So back in the day, as you know, as everyone knows, like who knows me, early on in my career and before that, I used to like dressing up and use fashion as like a big mode of expression.
We saw one of those pictures, did we? When we last did a radio interview last time, I think they pulled up some of your best outfits. We saw some of them.
Yeah, some funny ones. But anyway, so one weekend when I was, this was before I was signed or anything.
Yeah.
I bumped into a friend and I was wearing like a sort of cartoon prison outfit. So I thought it was cute. Like, you know, like the black and white stripe with the bottoms and then the little kind of hat.
Yeah.
And like red lipstick and everything. And I just thought I was just rocking it because I thought that it was quite cute. Anyway, I bumped into a friend and the person he was with asked me if I'd just been to a fancy dress party, but I hadn't. So
oh no.
I was like, no, this is my general style.
Oh no.
That's why I've got quite a lot of fashion mistakes and I embrace them.
Yeah, you're right. You can like pay it off. Like if someone says that to you, I don't think you get too hung up.
No, I'm just like, isn't fashion meant to be funny? But anyway, so the second one, some people know this already, but some don't. And I'm actually mortified about it. And I almost didn't say this one because I don't want it to keep following me around, but it feels awful.
Well, look, your secret is safe with us on Instagram.
Yeah, well, only 185 people. But so once I invited Alan Carr and Adele round to my house.
Okay.
No, actually, Alan Carr said that I could go to his house and cook. I like cooking, so I cooked for him and Adele and their part. Adele had a little dog at the time who had some, and also Alan's partner.
Yeah.
And it's I went to like a regular supermarket chain from the UK, which I won't mention what that is because we're all really desperately trying to eat from all these supermarkets at the current time, and I don't want to badmouth anyone, but suffice to say, the meat was off and it wasn't past its sell-by date. But I cooked for them and I gave them all food poisoning, including the dog. That's a big mistake. So I gave Adele, Alan Carr, and a dog, and Alan Carr's husband, food poisoning.
Wow.
Awful.
What did you
So,
cook?
it was some sort of like Middle Eastern lamb thing. I don't eat red meat anymore. And I feel mortified.
Couldn't you have just said that's what's supposed to happen?
What, you're supposed to get the shits and vomit? Yeah, great. It's a souvenir. Anyway, so my third mistake was when I won my Brit Award, which was like the biggest moment of my career. I'd never really felt like I'd been acknowledged properly before.
Yeah.
This was like the big moment where I felt like I was. I did like, I was quite overwhelmed because I had no idea that I was going to win.
Okay.
I had no clue whatsoever.
Yeah.
And just before the adverts, which was like before they were going to acknowledge Best British Female,
Yeah.
my manager leant over to me and said, I think you should think about who you'd thank if you did win. And I was like, I'm not going to win. But then he goes, think about it. And I was like, oh, I started to get like worried. Oh my God, maybe I am. So I thought, okay, I will think about it. So I start scribbling down names to try and get them in my head. Because like when you've not been acknowledged for 14 years, a lot of people have been involved.
Of course.
I didn't want to leave anyone out.
Of course.
So I started like, I went on stage, Mark Ronson gave me the award and I was like crying and I was like talking about the underdog and all that, and then I was like thanking so many people and I forgot to thank my managers who were like the key people. I didn't even thank them, and then I had to like go on stage and do a performance which was really arty and kind of dramatic. And at the end of it I just went, thanks Jamie and Innes at Lateral Management, who are my managers, but it really sort of ruined the creativity of my show. But I got it in. But it was a mistake. It wasn't meant to be thanking them there.
I love how you just like put a performance in and just thought, yeah, I'll just finish off the rest of my speech now.
Yeah, I just was like, I haven't thanked them, so I better do it now.
At least you got it in there. It could have been worse. Could have not said it.
That's true. But so I hear that you have some questions or some other people's mistakes. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so a few days ago, we've asked some fans. Sorry, I'm just looking at my laptop here, just at some of the questions.
By the way, anyone who's tuning in, our song's called Mistakes.
And
that's the theme of this chat.
It is. So
yeah, if you haven't got Mistakes yet, please download it.
Yeah, if you haven't checked out Mistakes, it's on all the streaming platforms. Check it out. It's a great song. I'm glad we got to collaborate on this song. And yeah, we are going through our mistakes and your mistakes as well. So yeah, so what have we got here? We've picked basically our favorite top 5, and yeah, we're going to get into them. So the first one here doesn't say who it's from. It says gap year in Australia, driving a ride on lawnmower when my phone slipped out and went bang. That is literally one of the worst things ever. You know that moment like when you drop your phone and you just
like, please.
It always lands on the glass side, doesn't it? It never lands on the back, always on the glass side. I feel like they do that on purpose so that you've got to buy a new phone. But you know that moment where you just have that.
You don't have to buy a new phone, by the way. You just get the glass replaced.
I mean, you can do that, yeah.
That's much cheaper, just for anyone watching.
It is, but then if it's also an excuse to get a new phone as well.
You're not supposed to be talking about money in this situation. No one's got any anymore.
That's true. But yes, that is the worst thing, especially if you don't back up your phone as well, and you just lost like all your messages, all your pictures. I don't think there's anything worse than that. Than losing your phone. So that's the first one we got here. The second one, I found this quite funny. I mistook my teacher for my mother during my class.
What? So like went, Mum?
Yeah.
That's quite cute. I bet the teacher, the whole class started laughing though.
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to have said that in any of my classes back in school. Definitely not. That would have been terrible. So yeah, that's the second one. Then we've got
Someone just wrote that their mistake was they got a tattoo that said no entry across their bum. Bit of a mistake.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
Yeah. The third one we got here is I'm gonna mention the Instagram handle or Twitter handle, whatever it is, because why not? Letting at VV160 throw up in my lap 3 years ago. 3 years later, we are married and have 2 cats together. Love is love.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I love it when bad stuff happens and then they end up. I always meet people and think I hate them, and then they end up being my best friends.
Right. Even if they were sick in your lap.
Oh yeah. We're all human.
Yeah.
I'd happily have you vomit in my lap.
Yeah.
Of course.
I have a fear of being sick, you know. I can't be sick.
Don't you?
No. I can't remember like the last time I was.
I quite like it. I prefer being sick to being nauseous.
Oh, don't like either. Anyway, on to the next one. One time I actually I should probably read this before I say it, just in case it's anything a bit. Okay. I've had that before. One time I pulled over because I was in a panic, but I couldn't find my car keys.
But driving.
Because I couldn't find my car keys. Yeah. You have that like when you've got your phone in your hand though. Sometimes.
I do that all the time with my phone in my hand. I'm like, where's my phone? Where's my phone? Oh my God, I need my phone.
Yeah.
And then my partner's just like, it's in your hand.
You feel like an idiot though after it. Definitely.
I think it just means that you've got a lot going on.
Distractions. I was once cooking mac and cheese and started squeezing the cheese sauce in before draining the water. When I realized the mistake, I grabbed the cheese sauce with my hands, and that just made everything worse in every way. I've never made mac and cheese.
Well, this person's like using like a sort of homemade cheese. Oh, it's disgusting. It makes me feel a bit ill just thinking about that sort of cheese. It's like made of milk and flour and cheddar, like all melted.
I don't eat cheese either.
Floating in water.
Yeah, I don't eat cheese, so
it's grim.
Yeah.
Onwards
and upwards. So you've got 5 fan questions, I think.
Yeah, was that all of yours?
That's mine there, yeah.
Okay, so I've got some questions that people have sent in for us both to answer.
Okay.
So this is from B Castle. How did you both decide to collaborate? The result is beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think, you could probably start this one because you started the song.
Well, yeah, I had this song sent to me, but oh my God, you always have to fill this bit in, don't you? Who's it by again?
Boy Matthews.
And Emanike. And I love Emanike, so I can only think of him. I'm sort of obsessed by him. And Boy Matthews. Like, sorry, but I haven't met you. And it was brilliant. I loved it instantly. I thought it was so good and catchy and wanted to be a part of it. And then we did some vocals and I was going to put it on my album. And I was actually going to use it as like my first single, I think. And then someone from my label came to me and said, oh, Jonas Blues heard this as well and really likes it. Do you want to do it with him? And I thought, why the hell not? This and this, OMG. Synergy.
Yeah, I got... The great thing about this song, it always reminds me of my 30th birthday because I was literally on the day of my birthday, I got sent this song. and I don't think I was supposed to be sent it either. And I was in Ibiza at the time, heard the kind of original demo, and you know when you just fall in love with a song, and I was just like, I have to be involved with this somehow. So that's kind of how it came about. And I think the fact that we had never worked together was also really beautiful as well, because it felt fresh and new. So yeah, it was great how it all came about. And usually it's quite difficult with songs. You know, sometimes I think in, you know, some of my cases, I have to, you know, do a lot of digging around and finding the perfect singer for it. And yeah, this one just kind of fell into my lap. So
Who knew?
who knew?
There's another question here from Becca Harford X.
Yeah.
What inspired the music video Love You, Paloma? Well, I'm a control freak about music videos, so I can answer this one because I did sort of deal with the music video.
Yeah.
So it's basically a bit of a combination of my passions. I'm really, really big fan of a film director called Wong Kar-wai. I'm probably not pronouncing it
And this
properly.
is the one that you've worked with before previously, right?
No, this is something else. So he directed some films that I love called In the Mood for Love and 2046, Chungking Express.
No, but I mean the director that you worked with on the music video you've worked with before.
But I'm not talking about that yet, Jonas.
Sorry, you're talking about your inspirations for the music video.
So anyway, I contacted a good friend called Thomas James that I've worked with before, and he knows I'm obsessed by that director.
Yeah.
And I knew that you were very popular in Asian territories. So I wanted to like pay homage to my favourite Asian film director in the video. Also as a thank you to your fans, because you obviously said to me that you love them a lot. They give you a lot of love and you have great time when you travel in Asia and stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I thought it was like really important to do something that acknowledged that, but also that I was passionate about. So that's basically how the colour palette and the sort of whole idea came about. And then the room splitting and everything was just an idea that we came up with the director of the video. And it's supposed to be a little bit of a nod also to the film Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Have you seen that?
I haven't, no.
It's a Jim Carrey film about a related couple, and they basically love each other so much that it becomes damaging, and then they go and have their memories erased, but they keep meeting anyway.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's about fate and destiny and how you're sort of meant to be with someone, even if it's terrible. And even if you try and erase them from your mind, you still will.
Yeah.
So that's what the video is about, because the lyric says, when will I learn to stop me making the same mistakes again? It's sort of supposed to acknowledge that line that basically like there's a destiny to this love kind of thing.
Yeah. Which I think, yeah, everyone kind of looks for in some kind of...
That's what we all hope for.
Yeah. So,
But
yeah, no,
tell you now, once you have kids, everything goes to shit. Quiz Gar says, which mistake or mistakes are you continuing to make?
That's a hard one. I'm kind of someone who, as soon as I make a mistake, I just kind of change my ways more, so I don't keep doing it.
That's good. That's regenerative.
Yeah. So I'm probably not in a position to answer that question. I've got no real idea of what. I'll have it. Maybe you've got one. I'll have a think.
I always say what I think, and I think that is a blessing and a curse.
Right.
Because most of the time people like it and they can handle it. I think sometimes it backfires, and then I've upset someone without realizing.
Yeah.
But I haven't changed it. I continue to make that mistake because I'm not very good at... I'm one of those people who's just like, I'm really bad at not saying what comes into my head. I don't have that discipline. And I also usually speak before I think.
So your mouth is like 3 seconds.
And then I'm like, oh, that was wrong. Do you want to move on, or do you want to try and think of one?
I'm trying to think of something. My only mistake that I keep doing is, but I don't know if it's a mistake. I think it's more of a way of life. But then so is yours. Is I just have the worst OCD. So I had this habit of when I need to pack for tour, I will do it like 3 days beforehand and religiously go through everything that I've packed. And I don't know whether that's a mistake though. It's just.
I think that's cool, and I wish I was like that. KJKZ4, what songs do you listen to during quarantine? Love from Poland.
I always listen to a lot of R&B.
What are your favourite R&B songs? Modern or from the past?
Both. Like there was this thing on the other night. I don't know if you know or many other people know Teddy Riley and Babyface, obviously, yeah. So they had this kind of like battle thing where they were just kind of battling out each other's catalogue of music, and like that for me was just.
What, on Instagram?
Yeah, it was amazing.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, there was just songs in there which you just didn't even know that Babyface wrote, and it was just like Tony Braxton and Eric Clapton songs, and it was just incredible. So
wow.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of R&B. I listen to a lot of the new R&B stuff as well, like Snow Allegro and even Tom Misch, who released his album today. Like I'm a massive fan of him. And yeah, I listen to a lot of dance music, a lot of jazz. I love listening to jazz when I like cook.
Who are your favourite jazz musicians? Don't say Michael Bolton.
Definitely not. I listen to a lot of like Brazilian jazz, like João Gilberto, Astra Gilberto, Stan Getz, who's American. But yeah, I listen to a lot of that. People aren't even gonna probably know this. But yeah, I'm an old soul.
Good, they'll look it up.
What about you?
I've not been listening to as much music as normal, because when I'm really writing, I don't listen to too much music. Otherwise, I tend to write those melodies into my own songs, and then I end up in court.
You feel like they get into your subconscious a little bit?
Yeah, because they sort of flow in. But the last song I listened to in quarantine was Bob Dylan's #1 single, Murder Most Something. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one that last week it was his first #1 in his entire career.
Okay.
Of the Billboard charts in America, and he's aged 78, and I just thought I really need to listen to this, because I was raised listening to his music, and I, as a teenager, used to dismiss it to my mum because I was like into R&B and stuff. And I listened to it, and sort of knowing what's happening with the coronavirus crisis, this pandemic,
yeah,
and knowing about the history of his music and all the people that he impacted in like human rights movements and everything, and then listening to those lyrics and sort of like the perspective that it was an old person who's looking back on his life.
Yeah.
I cried my eyes out. And the song was #1 in America, and it's 17 minutes long. But the lyrics
Check it out. I haven't checked it out.
Like, the lyrics are like stabbing yourself in the chest and turning the knife and just switching on like all your emotion. And he references in the song like a lot of other songs that people wrote that affected him from the past.
Yeah.
And so there's like playlists on Spotify where you can go and listen to all those songs, and they're really moving as well.
Right.
But anyway, so it's kind of like not just a song. It felt really important, like historical moments. I was listening to that.
That's called Murder Most Foul.
Yeah, Murder Most Foul. That's it.
I'll check it out.
Cameron Airy 05. Even though you've been on lots of live shows, do you still get nervous?
Yes.
Both of us. So Go first.
But I get more nervous back home.
Back home in your house or doing shows at home?
Shows at home, like just in London or just around the UK. It doesn't matter how many gigs I play around the world and the amount of people around there. As soon as I come back to the UK, always the nerves are so much more. Weirdly, I don't know why. What about you?
I'm not very good at performing if I'm nervous. So
Oh, really?
I think I do get nervous, but I pretend to myself that I'm not. So it's like a pretend confidence that I have. And usually once I've sung like the first line of my first song, the nerves completely go away. Like
the
immediately.
adrenaline kicks in, and
yes, it's just like the first line, and then I'm like, okay. But I feel quite like bad, and I get like nervous stomach, a bit gassy before I go on stage, which is really hot. I've got a low battery. So I know that I just turned everyone in the world on by telling you that I get a bit gassy before I go on stage, but it's nerves.
Yeah,
you're aroused, aren't you, Jonas?
Yes, definitely. The only thing that I get like still is I'll be super, because obviously with DJing it's slightly different because you're just kind of hopping from one country to the next, and you know, as soon as you finish a gig you're straight onto the next one and then DJ there and then move on to the next one. The thing that I have is just tiredness, and I can't seem to shake it at all until I get on stage, play the first few seconds of a tune, and then I'm just like, I'm just like back in the game. But
well, thank you to all these people who submitted questions, and everyone who did that we didn't read. I'm sorry.
Yes.
We didn't have time for that. But I'm glad to know, Jonas, that we're all human and we all make mistakes, and that's okay.
Absolutely.
At least now we have a song to listen to about it.
Exactly, which leads us to the next thing. If you haven't checked out our brand new single, Mistakes, it's out now. Go check it out. Go stream it. Share it. Send us your thoughts. And it was lovely catching up with you.
You too. And thanks everyone who had to listen.
Definitely.
I'll
speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.